And for more reaction on this story, we have in studio with us Vincentia Dlamini from the organization Women and Men Against Child Abuse. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, your reaction on the judgment?
Okay, I think there was nothing else that we were expecting except for a guilty verdict. I think the most important thing that we saw today was the fact that the judge rejected his version of events, which is very important to show
Very important indeed, because
Indeed,
there was an outcry last week, people saying that why would they let a 7-year-old testify?
In this case, it was very important, like the NPA has said, although we don't condone children being subjected to secondary victimization, but you would see that should this child did not come, or maybe a report was not presented, and then the judge was going to accept Ninow's version. So it is important that his version is rejected today, and I think going to pre-sentencing procedures and aggravation, it will be very, very important to see how the NPA is going to push for the minimum sentence of life sentence without parole, which is very important because this is what we're calling for, and I think this is at a time where the nation is in a state of crisis. We need to see everyone doing their part and actually putting for harsher sentences, hoping that they are going to deter the would-be abusers.
Yeah, we'll talk about the deterrent factor a bit later on, but the issue of the maximum sentence, as you say, we've seen calls for that particular sentence. Your organization has been part of the court proceedings throughout. What sentence are you hoping for? We know that for rape of a minor, it's life sentence. What we're hoping for, and I said before, it's very important that the judge, to say without parole, that is very important that we put them away for life, so that, because we know that they come back and they reoffend. Majority of them, we've had cases where someone was released today and on the very same day went again and abused children. Yeah. So we want to put, we want to push for that, and we hope the NPA will also push for that. Yeah, but another person can say, or one person can say that when they are locked up, the correctional services has rehabilitation programs to make them better people for when they come out.
That when they say that when they are locked out, and because remember when they are going for correctional services, how they are going to be monitored to say that they are behaving. They are behaving because clearly maybe they are doing their chores, they've opened a church group, or they're just behaving, because there's no children to abuse within the correctional services system. So are we saying that, are we going to risk the lives of our children by giving them a benefit of a doubt? We are not willing to take that chance. We're saying that you rape a child, you deserve to be rooted away from society and just go to jail for life.
And the reality is, we've seen such cases, or cases of this nature before. They have come, they've gone, and the victims are forever left with emotional and spiritual scars. So perpetrators would then go behind bars. But do you really think that maximum sentences and harsher sentences, do they really serve as a deterrent to other perpetrators, perhaps?
We're hoping that, because people have their natural inhibitions, where you don't do something because your value system says it's wrong, I can't do this. And then others who do not have those, then we expect the external inhibitors to be the law to actually, to help us in actually protecting our children, because we cannot say for sure they are going to. But if people see that people are going to be arrested and they get away with it, and then they continue, and in the case of serial rapists, we see that if they are just let loose, and then they're going to continue rape, and it's just a minority of people that are just going to torment a lot of people. So if one is rooted away from society, we know that we've actually protected a number of women and children.
Yeah, and so now we wait and see what happens on the 16th of October when sentencing procedures gets underway. But in the meantime, what do we do? How do we stop this from happening to other children?
How do we go about fighting the scourge of violence, more so on children? Talking about your organization on its own, what needs to happen? How do we become a proactive country instead of reacting to incidents such as this?
I think a lot of money needs to be put in preventative programs, early childhood development programs where children are going to, because we are in a society where violence is normalized and children are so desensitized to violence. So we need to go back to the grassroots and actually, have this conversation, have positive role models, have men that are going to take a stand and do say that they're not going to accept, women being treated badly, and parents having, parental programs, support programs for them, and also there's a number of money that needs to be put in and put into juvenile programs where children that are acting out sexually. Those children also need attention because those children might end up growing up to become rapists. So we need programs put in place for those. And we see that there's a lack in that department as well. We need therapists that are going to handle issues in dysfunctional families. We need monies for therapy for children that are coming from such who are exposed. We know that a lot of parents are not supervising children. Children are exposed to sexual acts and they act them out. So there's a lot that needs to be done. We can't just have one solution, and everybody needs to come on board. We need to strengthen our laws as well in terms of the bystanders, people that are just keeping quiet when they know what's happening. We've got mothers who are enablers, they're keeping quiet, they know, those people need to be taken to task as well. We just need a lot, we need police officers that are sensitized, we need everybody to come on board. So we don't have one solution for this program.
All right, Vincentia, we'll leave it at that for today. Thank you so much for coming through.
It's a pleasure.
All right, well, there you have it, Vincentia Dlamini. She's from NGO Women and Men Against Child Abuse, reacting to this judgment that was passed to Nicholas Ninow earlier today. Peter?